Hello everybody, this is episode 2 of the Pre-Viral Podcast, PVP, and today's episode is titled Just Do, and the reason for that is I am gonna hone in on the idea of content creation in the esports video game community. So what do I mean by just do? Really, it's just do, don't think, right? When you think about what sort of content are you gonna put out, what game should I play for this, what audience, no, too much time. You're wasting too much time. Those are just excuses for you to stall for time. Just do, don't think, guys. You gotta start the grind in order to be on the grind, right? While you're grinding, you can change everything up, right? But you gotta start doing in order to change what you are doing, right? If you're always on a hiatus, okay, I can investigate this. If you're always on a hiatus trying to figure out, what should I be doing? Maybe people aren't gonna like this. Maybe people won't like my personality. Maybe I'll have too much energy, right? All these stupid excuses, you'll never do. You'll never do, and it will always be this passion project that you're always telling people about, but never have anything to show for it. And that's gonna be the worst, dude. You're literally just gonna be a poser. So just do, don't think. Don't think, just do. You know what I'm saying? And then with that grind, as soon as you start doing and you start the grind, you gotta grind. You gotta ignore everything else, right? We joke around, right? And part of the grind is to get that bread, right? So I would assume that grinding is grinding wheat in order to make your bread, right? When you are grinding wheat on a freaking stone, man, like we did when we were freaking Neanderthals and stuff like that, it was a lot of work. You put your head down and you just stared at that stone. You stared at what you were grinding. You stared at what you were doing, like a craftsman does, like a carpenter, right? The carpenter always has his eyes on his work, right? The artist never looks up from her canvas, right? She is driven by that canvas and mesmerized by it, right? That has to be the same for your content creation, right? When you start grinding, you don't look up, right? Years will go by, right? Months, days, hours, right? It is a grind, okay? You gotta just put your head down and be patient, right? That's the biggest part with this. Same again with the carpenter and the artist, right? Their pieces of work, their jobs, they don't happen overnight, right? It doesn't. They're down for hours, days even, right? And then they look up when they're finished, when the job's been done, right? They don't keep looking up and checking the time and then wondering, will I get paid for this job yet? Will I get the rewards from my work before it's even done? No, that's ridiculous. That is so absurd to think that, right? So you got to make sure you keep your head down. You got to be patient with the whole thing, right? This isn't going to come overnight. Patience is the key, right? Because if you're not patient, you're going to end up quitting, right? You guys need to realize what you're getting yourselves into with this, right? This will probably take years since there's so many other accounts on there, right? It'll take a while for people to notice you. There's so much out on the internet these days. So yeah, just make sure you keep your eyes closed, your ears closed as well. What I mean by ears closed is you gotta tune out the negativity, of course, right? People are gonna tell you you can't do it. That's always gonna happen. Because if they can't do it, they don't want you to do it either. It's just gonna happen, alright? So you gotta ignore it. Simple as that. Just tune them out. But also, this is gonna sound bizarre, but you gotta tune out the positivity, okay? Why do you gotta tune out the positivity? Because no one's opinion really matters. Just like the negative doesn't matter, the positive doesn't matter either. You're doing this for you, right? You're doing this because you love it, right? You are making Rainbow Six videos because you love the game and you want to share what you love. It's as simple as that, right? Who cares what other people think? Even if they love your content and they love the game too. Do you really care? No, you already loved the game before you found out they loved the game. So just put your head down and close your ears, right? But also another thing, you don't want to be dependent on that positive energy that you're being fed, right? Because if you're dependent on math and things get slow, right? Or maybe you tried experimenting and with some of your content and it ended up not working out as well as you liked, then you're going to be super depressed if you're super dependent on that positive feedback, right? It's not going to work out though. It just won't. So, yeah, make sure you tune everything out, right? This is gonna sound even weirder than what I first said, but when people say make sure you have a support system, that's a sham, dude. If you need motivation to do something that you already love and that you're already passionate about, you've lost. You're not as passionate as you think you are about it. You're lying to yourself and you're trying to make something out of nothing, right? It's like your job at McDonald's, right? Do you genuinely love working at McDonald's? Probably not. And that's why you need to find motivation to go to work, to get out of bed and go to that job. It's super sucky, right? But if you love flipping burgers, man, if you love feeding people, if you love serving, right? You won't have to be all like, you won't have to find motivation to get out of the bed, dude. That will be your motivation, right? There's no reason to make excuses for motivation. You've already lost if you need it. So, and now actually that was a great little side tangent, but I want to get back to the just do bit, part of the grind, right? The reason you gotta just do, not only because like if you don't, like you'll never accomplish, but there's also regret that happens. For those of you who are in high school or gone through high school, right, you guys will probably understand what I'm saying here. You remember that one girl that you had a crush on, right? And then just never asked out. Bugged you for a while, right? Probably bugged you for at least a couple of months that you never asked her out, and then she started dating some other dude. Would not doubt that there was regret in that, okay? Now just imagine that sort of regret on a passion project, man, on something you would die over if you started, right? Think about how much regret is in there, okay? Regret is poison. It is poison that is being seeped into your brains because you didn't want to accomplish something, right? Because you were afraid, right? Fear leads to regret. So don't be afraid. Don't think, just do. And the regret won't happen. Because there's no fear. Fear comes from thinking, right? If you're not thinking about what you're doing, you're never afraid of it, right? Let's talk about extreme sports, right? Let's do downhill mountain biking, like those Red Bull guys. Those guys are freaking insane, okay? When I watch that, I'm afraid for myself just watching the video. I don't even have to do it and I feel fear. Hence why I would never do it. Because of that fear. I'm thinking about it. Do you think those guys think about what they're about to do? Nah, they just send it, dude. They just give it the full send. You gotta do the same thing for your gaming career, okay? You wanna be an esports player, you gotta give your game time a full send. You gotta grind, you gotta bleed, you gotta cry, and you gotta sweat to get good enough. To be a professional at anything, you have to put a minimum of 10,000 hours into something. I don't know a whole lot of people that have actually put 10,000 hours into one video game. Because that's a lot of freaking time, okay? 10,000 hours into just video games in general, it's a lot of time. Like here, you know what, let me find a place to chill out real quick, so then I can actually do the math of how many days are in 10,000 hours, right? We do 10,000 hours, okay, divided by 24. We're looking at 416 days. That's literally a year straight, not sleeping, okay? Every day in and out. That's insane, okay? It is a lot of time that you gotta dedicate. That's why you can't have excuses. That's why you can't be afraid. You don't have time for that, okay? There's no room for that stuff. There's no room for the what ifs. You gotta just do. And I mean, if it's not working out, dude, you could always just go back to something else. If video games really isn't something that you're not as passionate as you thought about it, dude, it's okay to stop. Because, again, you didn't care about people's opinions beforehand. Stopping and trying something else, let's say you want to start building video games, totally fine. Why does it matter what someone else thinks? You already don't care. you've been liberated from it. You can take all the risks in the world and literally have zero repercussions now. Because you just did. So now that let's say now that you've been inspired to just do, now you gotta start being self-aware of who you are, right? You gotta understand your weaknesses. Now I'm not talking gameplay here, okay? Everybody understands weaknesses in gameplay. If I'm playing long range, like my weakness is the short range, I gotta make sure I find me a teammate, you know, that'll back me up when someone tries rushing me, right? That's easy. But now I'm talking about like your content, right? Or if you're building a team, like your teammates, your management, right? You gotta figure out what you're not good at, okay? If you're not good at editing, find an editor, okay? You're not very good in front of a screen, right? Or talking, find someone to narrate your videos, right? You're not really as good as you thought you were, and now you want like someone to play for you over the podcast, which is not what I've done. But let's say someone wanted to do that, find someone who's better. You know what I mean? It is okay to understand your weaknesses. That is true humility, knowing what you are good and bad at. Okay? Humility is not saying you're bad at everything. Humility is knowing what you're good and good at. Okay? And with that true humility, you'll be able to build a perfect team and be unstoppable. You know what I mean? If you've realized you're bad at editing, right? And then you find yourself an editor, your team just got better. Your content just got better. Okay? Let's say you're not as funny as you'd like to be on some of your videos, right? And you want to do more comedic stuff. Find someone who's funny and bring them onto the show. How hard is it to do that? It's not hard at all. Literally just find someone on Instagram and DM them and be like, hey dude, you want to do some collabs? Is it that hard to do? Not at all. Are they gonna say no? There's gonna be a lot of no's. So you're gonna have to realize that that's gonna suck. But in our reality, it's not going to at the same time, because you don't care. You're gonna keep grinding, right? You're gonna send out 100 DMs at least to find someone to do this. You gotta put in the work and you gotta be patient with it, okay? Don't expect it to happen overnight. Again, I can't push this patience thing enough. Patience is huge. It's gonna be huge, because if it would happen overnight, everybody would be doing it, and then it wouldn't be cool. It wouldn't be fun. It wouldn't be a grind. Okay? You gotta wait. You gotta wait. You gotta wait for it to come. So yeah, and then once you understand your weaknesses, like, and surround yourself with people who can fill those weaknesses, also understand your strengths, right? Build off of those strengths, right? You understand audio really well, make a perfect podcast, okay? If you're not that good at video, that's fine, but you're great at audio. Again, make that perfect podcast, dude. Understand your strengths and utilize them to the fullest of your ability. Milk it for all it's worth, right? Why does Activision freaking put microtransactions on skins? It's because they know they can make good skins. Actually, I take that back. Fortnite or League makes freaking great skins. Okay, they do make great skins, and they dig into it, man. They really haven't changed a whole lot about the game, but they make some freaking awesome skins, man. And they built their entire monetization on their skins. You need to do the same. You need to figure out what you are good at, or even your team if you've gotten that far. Your production team, your esports team, and milk it for what it's worth. And yeah, once you have this team, once you understand your strengths and your weaknesses, that'll build confidence, man. If you know what you can do, dude, you don't even have to flex on people to like be worth something. You could just do because you're good at it. You don't have to fake it. You don't have to fake it till you make it. You just do it because you're good. You know what I mean? That'll boost your confidence, right? Because now you'll understand what you are capable of. You won't go into every scenario thinking, oh, dude, am I going to be able to do this? You're going to put yourself into scenarios where you are going to win because you know what you can and cannot do. What your team can and cannot do, right? So, I'm going to finish up with How do you start making content, right? I'm not even gonna tell you how to do that, because whoever tells you how to do that is straight up liar, straight up sham. Okay, it's a bunch of lies. Just do it. That's how you make content. You just do it. There's no, oh, you need to optimize your rig. Dude, I'm recording off a freaking PlayStation right now. I don't even have a capture card. I don't got this $5,000 PC hooked up to my PlayStation right now so that I can stream it and edit it. No, dude. I literally put this on my PlayStation. I got like a $5 flash drive and just freaking doing. It's as easy as that. You want to start vlogging some of your games, right? Or just vlogging in general, so then people can get to know you as a person better outside of your video games. Just whip out your phone, dude. You don't gotta go to your local Best Buy and freaking buy a quote-unquote vlogging camera. That's a sham. Whoever's telling you that is a liar, and it's just trying to make themselves feel better than they actually are. Just do it. Okay? You want to start a podcast? There's this app called Anchor. Okay? You can straight up download that app for free. $0 and 0 cents. $3.03. Okay? And just hit the record button, and boom, it's being put on all major platforms, and people can now start finding your podcast. Just do, don't think. There's no formula on how to make good content. Good content is content that's made. That is the definition of good content. Alrighty guys, so hopefully I drilled that phrase, don't think, just do, enough where you guys understand that it is entirely possible for you guys to achieve what you want to do. You just gotta go out and do it. You gotta wait for it. You gotta wait for it to come. You gotta wait for the success. Success doesn't come overnight, okay? It'll come in due time. Just do, don't think.